good today. I'm actually starting on time today. I covered the windows. Seriously? And now you're going to be cloudy? Oh, it's so annoying. I covered up the windows and now it's cloudy. Hey, YouTube. Just because I think it's a little prettier having the curtains open, but they're kind of, it's funny. They were totally, that's weird. I mean, they were like crazy cloudy 10 minutes ago. I had to close the curtains. Totally bizarre. Anyway, it's fine. I'll leave them for now. There's no point. I mean, I could open them, I guess, but we'll survive. All right, let me get TikTok. I think TikTok's actually ready to go. Yeah. All right. Hello, all. October 14th, 6 o'clock. There we go. Mirror. Well, we'll wait for more TikTokers to come, I guess. Anyway, welcome, guys. How are we doing today? I've got my water. I made some Scottish tablet, which I probably shouldn't have, but I was in the mood. I may not ever make that again. It's just, there's no way to make it quicker. It takes so damn long. That sucked. Anyway, hello. Thank you, Jetta. Hey, Nick. Hey, thank you, Richard. So welcome, guys. I'm John Aravosis. We talk about the news, about Trump, about craziness, about the war in Ukraine, a little bit of everything. How's everybody doing this evening? I was watching a little bit of Aaron Parnas's show the other night, and he actually pulled this off. I always worry a little bit about not having guests. I'm going to have guests, but like bringing you guys up on stage to talk. Now on YouTube, there's no way to do it, which is really stupid that there isn't. On TikTok, there is. I can bring guests up. I just worry about like crazy people. And, Aaron had like lots and lots and lots of normal people from what I was watching. And I wasn't quite sure how he succeeded in doing that. Because I worry about the bad guys. You know what I mean? The trolls coming and just being trolly. So I don't know. I'm just kind of curious I think it'd be kind of fun to do a show like that, but thank you for the gifts, guys. But that's my only reticence is I'm kind of like, mods can take down trolls as guests. Okay. I mean, well, you'd have to, yeah. But he invites people up and they ask questions and they talk. Like instead of asking your questions there, you kind of come on and we talk and you can ask about stuff and, it was nice though, because it was like they were kind of excited and it was kind of just a fun thing. I could have subscribers as guests is not a bad idea either. But I just don't. Well, actually, that's true. You're right. Subscribers tend to be more sane. If you're going to become or a super fan, they're switching over to. If you're willing to become a super fan on TikTok, you're allowed to come on. If you're going to be right. If you're a troll, you're a troll. I mean, we still get rid of you. But it's the crazy people. It's the crazy people. I mean, we could pick the people we know, but I wouldn't want to just pick the people we know, right? That's the problem. We know, anyway, just something to think about. That's something true. If I limited it to subscribers, it's safer. But any case, it looked kind of fun what he was doing, thank you for the Elvis, Andrea. The street of the TikTok live racing thing. Thank you, Carrie. I don't think I've seen that one. Thank you for that. That is the problem, Joshua. Right. You can be held accountable by TikTok if you don't get rid of the guests. Of course, if the guests are saying crazy stuff, I'm getting rid of them anyway. I've been on Fox News a lot. Thank you, Nick. In the old days, thank you, Fallen. Spent a lot of time on Fox News. And they would get me on to talk about Democratic stuff, but also like gay rights and stuff. And I would always have to get on and debate these religious right nut jobs talking about gay people abusing children and this kind of crap. And, after a while, you get really tired of it. And I don't more power to, Dean and what's his name? I'm spacing out. You know who I mean. Oh my God, I'm totally spacing out. Get a job, Parker. For debating these guys, I don't want to debate them. I spent too much time debating them. Yeah, Parker, they're not fun to debate. I mean, it's just not fun, So I mean, I would not have an issue of somebody saying crazy stuff and continuing the conversation. They say crazy stuff and they're gone. Just like our comments. We don't leave the crazies in the comments. Because at least, and it's kind of, we'll get into the news, don't worry. But it's kind of, it depends on your theory, but I've been running online debates for a very long time, not debates, online communities for a long time. And letting the bad guys poison the comments kind of ruins the community. I found, like when I had a blog, At one point, we just decided, okay, we'll let the crazies come talk. All the regulars, people didn't want to come and hang out and talk because it was all crazies. So I'm a big believer on this. Yeah, I will not be debating Parker and Dean. First, because we're on the same side. Second of all, I'm not crazy. They're both too good, but we're on the same side anyway. So anyway. All right, guys, welcome. Let's get rolling here. So I'm John Aravosis. We talk about the latest news. I'm in Washington, D.C., longtime journalist, political guy, what else? Lawyer, lots of other stuff. Let's get rolling. So please keep the gifts coming. Gifts on TikTok, gifts on YouTube, Discord. I do this for a living, so I very much appreciate your help and your support. And I do a weekend show, by the way. So anybody who becomes a subscriber on TikTok, a member on YouTube, they may call it, Discord, I do a show every Saturday morning, almost every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, US, just for those guys. And sometime I'm going to start doing more little drop-ins and stuff. I haven't done those enough. More videos for you guys, the subscribers, things like that. This Saturday, I will not be doing the show because this Saturday is the No Kings rally. That's the big anti-Trump protest that's happening nationwide, or pro-democracy protest here in the U.S. It was a very huge protest earlier in the year, and they're doing another one on Saturday. I will be there, camera in tow, but you can Google and see where it is in your neighborhood. But so Saturday I will not be doing the show because it starts at noon. So I've got my Greek class from 10 to 11. So I'm finishing the Greek class and then heading to the protest. So, all right, let's get rolling. Trump blew up another boat in the Caribbean today, claiming it was drug trafficking. Nobody knows if he's telling the truth. Thank you, running. He killed another 6 people. The legal experts pretty much agree that this is a violation of international law, war crime. Well, it's worse than a war crime because it's not a war. Trump is claiming that the drug traffickers, nobody has seen any proof. But by the way, if they were drug traffickers, wouldn't there be some proof? Like, wouldn't Trump be, right? There's no proof. He's a liar too. I mean, Trump lies a lot. I mean, for a politician, he lies a lot, more than any president we've had really ever, from what I know. And I do follow this stuff pretty in depth. So I don't believe him when he says these guys were trafficking. There's no reason to believe him. He lies. And he's shown us no proof. Again, the problem is, you can't just blow up civilians. It's not allowed under international law. Part of the reason is you get it wrong, right? I mean, it's just like the in the courts. You can't go and Philippines did this under Marcos or whatever. They went and they just killed drug traffickers or people they claimed were drug traffickers, right? They would just go and kill them. And you can't do that without some kind of legal process or whatever. And in Trump's case, we don't even know if he's telling the truth, and I doubt he is telling the truth. I don't think he is telling the truth. How does he get away with it? Because he gets away with it. I mean, again, this is what I think I keep looking because the dog wants to go on the balcony, and I know she's going to be eating my plants again. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. She's almost destroyed one of my plants. She's gotten into this plant phase lately. Sure, she was eating sticks. Now she's eating plants. I try not to let her eat the damn plants, but Hey, come back in. You're done. You're done. Come on. Thank you. All right. Get in here, old lady. All right. Jeez. All right. Anyway, you got to tend to the old lady. But anyway, yeah. So Marcos was doing this. He was like killing everybody he claimed was the drug trafficker. And it's like, how do you know he's a drug trafficker? Right. I mean, and somebody like Trump, he's not telling the truth. I mean, let me put it this way. He lies so much that there's no reason to believe he's telling the truth. You need proof before you just go and kill people. If you are Donald, if you're somebody if you're America, we just, and again, we're not talking Afghanistan. We're not talking Iraq. We're not killing terrorists in Iraq or Afghanistan. That's allowed. International law doesn't like it, but it's allowed. We're talking he's blowing up boats in the Caribbean and kind of making stuff up. One of them supposedly was Colombian. The Colombian president said it wasn't even a a drug boat from Venezuela. They were like Colombian citizens that Trump blew up the other week. Anyway, Andre says there's a rally in Montreal. Oh, nice. Oh, that's interesting. Montreal's having a rally too for this. Oh, Duterte, not Marcos. Thank you. When I said Marcos, I caught myself and went, I don't think it was the son, because it wasn't the father Marcos. I know that, but I thought it was further back. Thank you. It was Duterte. Yep. So anyway, a little more news here. Hamas may have violated the ceasefire. Israel says that Hamas has slowed the release of hostages. They're not keeping the deal. So Israel is cutting back aid shipments to Gaza. Republicans are freaking out, by the way, about the No Kings protest. This has been very interesting. Republicans think that it is to their advantage. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Dookie. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Republicans think it's to their advantage to try to paint this weekend's pro-democracy protests in the U.S. as Marxist radicals. The problem is, like, most people going are going to be me. And they're going to have a hard, anti-American Marxist radicals, except most of the people going are not going to be us. Now, Fox News is going to do everything it can to try to take pictures of only the crazy people wherever they are, or they're going to put, the Republicans will put crazy people. I don't know, but something, right? But otherwise, they're going to have a hard time doing it. But nonetheless, they lie well, they spread disinformation well, and they're going to try to paint these protests. Thank you, Bowie. Paint these protests as being like Marxist, anti-American. What is interesting is they're worried about it. That's what's interesting. They're very worried about it. Yeah, they're going to call it Antifa. Antifa, by the way, is an organization that doesn't even exist. But again, if you are trying to move the country towards fascism, if you're trying to move the country towards martial law, which is what Governor Newsom of California claims is happening, what Governor Pritzker of Illinois claims is happening, what a lot of legal experts claim is happening, you need a boogeyman. You need an enemy. And a fake enemy works too. I mean, the Germans did it against the Jews in not World War II, in the 1930s. They just created a fake enemy. Somebody people could hate. And Antifa is that enemy. I mean, they literally, it kind of amazes me, though, the extent of the lie. They literally are claiming that Antifa is real. It's not. They're claiming it's a leftist terrorist organization. It's not, because, again, it doesn't exist. It's claiming it's being funded by big Democratic donors like George Soros. No, it's not, because it doesn't exist. There's no members. There's no leadership. There's no one to give money to if you wanted to. It literally doesn't exist. And then they're claiming, this was amazing in the last week, and this is the really dangerous stuff. Kristi Noem, who's the Homeland Security Secretary, she claimed this last week that Antifa is as dangerous as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Guys, I mean, now you're like, seriously, okay? This group doesn't exist. To the extent it exists, it doesn't exist. But what Donald Trump is calling Antifa are the Portland protesters. You've seen the Portland protesters, right? Most of them are people wearing like furry jumpsuits and frog outfits and stuff. I'm going to see if I still have that video from yesterday. I mean, they're good people. They're funny. They're goofy people. Portland's weird. They always say that. Keep Portland weird. They're goofy people wearing animal outfits. Oh, here we go again. These are the Portland protesters. Okay. This is worse than ISIS. I mean, really? It's a guy in a frog outfit. Oh, they're frogs. That's what they are. They're frogs. ISIS frogs? Al-Qaeda frogs? I mean, right? It's like, you get it. Very, very dangerous trumpet player. His trumpet is as dangerous as ISIS's trumpet. I mean, it's like, come on. But again, this was the other one. Oh, wait, this one's even better. This one actually is better. It's a shorter video, but it's even better in terms of just the ludicrousness of this whole thing. Here we go. 1 second here. This is my favorite, though. We have the dinosaur. We have the raccoon. Oh, and the unicorn. And I'm not sure. It looks like a bear maybe in the background. This is Portland again. Portland being weird. This is what they're doing outside the ICE facility. This is what Stephen Miller claims is again, like, every day there's violence, day and night. And again, as Homeland Security said, this is just like it's just as dangerous as ISIS. If ISIS did this, if Al Qaeda did this, it would be a good day for America. I mean, you get it. But this is the nature of fascism. Thank you, Russell. Which would you like? We've got Big Goat, Little Goat, and Halloween Goat. We do one of those with the Galaxy gift. The goat screams. Sasha, you can wait. I gave her water. She decided to drink it all 10 minutes ago, and now she wants more water. That's my girl. Which goat shall we be doing? Did he know he can do a goat? Halloween, of course. The Halloween goat is the best goat right now. I mean, the other ones are still pretty good, but Portland's ISIS. One more time. Scary. Woo. Oh my God. Thank you again for that, Russell. Anyway, so a little more here. Oh God, there was a crazy story out today from Politico. It is important. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to be careful how I describe it because it's so offensive. TikTok will not like it, but it is an important story. And TikTok's own rules say that you can discuss extremism and racism and discrimination if you are exposing it, if you are criticizing it. That is what I'm doing here. There was a story today from Politico that they got their hands on thousands of pages of Telegram messages shared by young Republican leaders in Arizona, New York, Vermont, Kansas, four American states. And the Republican leaders were doing things like racism, sexism, homophobia, anti-Semitism. I'm going to try to tell you some examples. Even the examples I'm going to give you, I'm going to cage a lot of them because they're so offensive. But this is the problem with stories like this. They're so offensive that you need to know what they said because you need to know who the leadership is of the Republican Party for the next generation. But at the same time, it's so offensive that you've got to be careful telling it. But for example, one of them was talking about how, quote, I love from World War II, the German leader, or Austrian, as somebody pointed out on TikTok. I love H-man, okay? These are young Republican leaders on Telegram. They were talking about black people using the N-word, big surprise. Calling black people monkeys, which is a slur, I'm sure, in any country, right? Referring to black people as with the word watermelon, which is another slur in America for black people. Thank you, Kate or Kat. Again, I don't even want to tell you what they said about watermelon. I don't want to give you the phrase. I'm just giving you but even at least in America, people know exactly sort of the watermelon thing and how gross it is. These are young Republican leaders, and they're doing it in writing in their 20s, and they're doing it in writing on Telegram. This is the thing that blows my mind too. Like, thank you. Love that gift. I do love that gift. Thank you, Arifa. Oh, good to see you, Arifa. Some more jokes about Jews. Big surprise. They don't like Jews. Can't trust Jews, they claimed. Jokes about women and sexual assault. Lots of jokes about the Holocaust, about ovens, about showers, all Holocaust jokes. Calling gays the F word for gays. Really just, I mean, again, what blows my mind is being so cocky. First of all, they did this like a lot, right? This wasn't like one or two comments. They did it a lot. Nobody spoke out and said, hey guys, let's cool it, right? Nobody said that. The fact that what kind of blows my mind, two things. One, it always blows my mind when people speak this way. Younger, you could always say, somebody was saying, well, younger, I saw somebody on Twitter today say, well, younger people, if we had, Twitter back then or email back then of young people in high school, we all would have said stuff like that. And I kind of was like, I actually didn't say stuff like that in high school. I really didn't. I kind of got annoyed when people would say that about black people in high school. For example, I had a Jewish friend in high school, and I remember Keith Spergel to this day. freshman year of high school, I asked Keith and I said, Keith was like the only Jewish person I knew. We didn't have many Jews in my town, very white town, suburb of Chicago. And I said, and I remember to this day, age 14, going to Keith and saying, Keith, can I ask you something? He said, yeah. I said, you're Jewish, right? He goes, yeah. I said, I don't understand what this thing is about hating Jewish people. I said, you're just like me. like this doesn't make sense. And he goes, and I remember him saying, I know, I don't understand it either. I was like, okay. But like, so no, all of us did not talk that way in high school. All of us did not write messages to our friends saying that kind of crap in high school. But these guys aren't in high school. These are young Republican leaders of the various states. They're not high school kids. That's the first thing. A, it's not normal even in high school. B, these are not high school students. These are either adults or young adults. C, what kind of an idiot is going to write this down? I mean, imagine thinking you could say these things like the N-word. Imagine thinking you can say the N-word and then being comfortable enough to write it down to thousands of people on your Telegram network. I mean, imagine the hubris, right? The entitlement of these young Republicans to think that nothing's going to happen. They're so sacrosanct in today's America, in Donald Trump's America. They can say whatever they want about blacks and Jews and women because nobody can touch them. And they could put it in writing. Again, putting it in writing, my God. I mean, again, saying it's bad enough, but putting it in writing, are you crazy? But they thought they could do it because that's the climate today. And let's see if these guys pay a price. Let's see if they pay a price for this. I'm not convinced they will. Go Google the story. It's in Politico, CO. It's horrific. They've got copies of the messages. You need to see it to really see several of the things they said because it was so bad. And again, I'm couching it a little because, it's obviously, I don't want to repeat racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic things, but like, oh my God. Chicago Tribune had a story people were talking about regarding ICE and all. A Chicago woman who was adopted, carries around a copy of her passport because she's Latino. Well, she's ethnically Latino, but she was adopted, so her last name is Greeley, Because she's a Greeley, but she looks Latino, she's adopted, that's why her name is Greeley. She carries around a copy of her passport with her. Well, what do you know? The ICE people pulled her over. She was out doing some errand with her dog. The ICE people pulled her over and detained her because they didn't believe her name was Greeley. They actually said to her, you don't look like a Greeley. We don't believe your documents. She's like, this is my passport. We don't believe it's really you because you don't look like a Greeley. I mean, guys, like, Sasha, I don't know. What do you want from me? Relax. She's in her bed whining to me, which is a new development with my dog. Relax. I don't know what she wants this time. But imagine saying you don't look like a Greeley. And so they detained her. American citizen. American. And they detained her because she looks Latino, doesn't look like a Greeley, which is the name on her passport. I mean, first of all, you know what? Your name on your passport could be Greeley because you're freaking married. That's the first. Hey, stop. Could be because you're married. She, by the way, whines all day. That's why I occasionally give her the curt, and half her hearing is gone. So if I don't give her a curt stop, she won't stop. She'll just whine all day. And she also won't hear me doing it anyway. You will see the dog in a bit. The thing is, she hates being picked up. Mom's dog, my sister's dog, loves being picked up. Mom's dog used to love to be picked up. Mine, she's like, So picking her up, I can show her you guys later, but show her later, show her to you later, but she's not going to like it. Another big story. ICE allegedly threatened to shoot an ambulance driver in Portland. It's cute. Sort of all the EMT types got very upset. Here's the problem. Nobody knows what a freaking EMT is outside of America, and even a lot of Americans don't know it. So you don't use words like that if you're trying to broadcast to a large audience. No, everyone was very upset. They're not ambulance drivers. I was like, oh my God, people, relax already. So ICE threatened to shoot an ambulance driver in Portland. This story is crazy. This story is backed up by both of the paramedics in the ambulance. Both of them wrote a report, filed a report with their boss, alleging the exact same thing. Right? It is always Portland, Oregon. When we talk about Portland and ICE, it's always Oregon. It's never Maine. Maine is white people. They like Maine. Like, it's always Portland, Oregon. Although Portland's white people too, but they don't like Portland anyway. It's Portland. As President Bartlett once said about blacks, how many or actually somebody asked it, not even Bartlett didn't say it. Somebody else said to him, "Oh, really?" Remember the chairman of the Joint Chiefs says to him on West Wing, goes, "Oh, really? You got a lot of my people up there in Maine?" Although that was New Hampshire. That is true. Maybe Maine does. I shouldn't say that. That was New Hampshire. That was a New Hampshire reference. All right, I'm off topic. Let's get back to this. So, ambulance drivers, 2 guys, 2 paramedics in the ambulance, witnesses to this, wrote a report backing it up. The audio, they have some kind of audio in the ambulance, backed it up. The audio to 911 backed it up. The audio of them calling their station and reporting what was going on backed up their story. ICE is claiming it didn't happen, of course. You've got multiple witnesses now. What happens is somebody somehow gets in ICE custody, a young person in Portland, Oregon, and he has broken his collarbone or dislocated his collarbone. Now, the story never explains. This is from Willamette Week, publication in Eugene, Oregon. I think Willamette's in Eugene, and they don't really explain how this young man in ICE custody broke his collarbone or dislocated his collarbone. I'm kind of curious about that, to be honest. But nonetheless, ICE calls the paramedics to come take the guy to the hospital. Okay. They come, they get him ready. He's in the ambulance to take to the hospital. And the ICE guys then say, "Hey, we want to come with you in the vehicle." And the ambulance guy said, "Is he under arrest?" They said, "No." And he said, "Well, our rules are, unless he's under arrest, you can't come with." Now, first of all, I'm going to guess there could be like a liability issue here. If he's not under arrest, then you're just some guy who wants to ride in the ambulance with us and our patient. Why should we let some guy, even some law enforcement guy, if he's not under arrest, we don't let law enforcement just ride with a patient. That's weird. Part of the reason could be if he's like a little bit whoopy, he can't know his rights, his constitutional rights. So they said, "Well, no, we can't let you." And the ICE guy says, "Oh, that's okay. We'll ride in the car behind you." He goes, "Okay." So the ambulance gets ready to leave, and he notices like they're not opening the door. There's some guys kind of blocking the vehicle. And he says, "What's going on?" And they said, "We want to ride in the vehicle with you." And he goes, "We had this discussion a couple of minutes ago. We said no, because he's not under arrest. We can't let you ride if he's not under arrest." And as he's explaining this, the ICE guys are now turning away from him and ignoring him, the ambulance driver. They're turning away and ignoring him. And he's like, I kept trying to explain to them, going, "Guys, you need to let us go to the hospital. This guy is injured, right? It's been like, X number of minutes. He's in the ambulance. What's going on?" They won't talk to him. Well, then 5 or 8 ICE guys arrive and get in front of the ambulance and just start staring down the driver. Doesn't this sound familiar, by the way, with the way these ICE guys have been acting? Start staring down the driver and not saying anything. He goes, they were just staring at him to scare him. At one point, basically there were now like 30 agents in the area, but a lot of the agents were getting ready to go outside. They weren't just 30 for these guys, getting ready to go outside. He said he basically gave up at this point because the car was in drive, the vehicle. He puts the vehicle in park, puts it in park and takes his foot off the brake. Well, as you put it in park and take your foot off the brake, the vehicle moved. The ICE guys, mind you, these idiots are standing in front of a truck, in front of an ambulance. They're literally in front of an ambulance with the engine on because they're using their bodies to stop the ambulance. Well, the ambulance moved a little because he put it in park and took his foot off the brake. He gets swarmed. This is the paramedic. He gets swarmed by ICE guys screaming in his face. He said, screaming in his face, "We're going to shoot you. If you do that again, we're going to shoot you and we're going to arrest you. Do you understand us? Don't you dare try to run us over." And he goes, and I was like, "Run you over? What are you?" He even said, he told one of the guys, which I thought was a beautiful quote. He goes, "There's 30 of you here. You're dressed in like military, armor. You think I'm going to try to run you over? Are you insane? I mean, these guys, I want to read you the quote he wrote later in his report. Mind you, 2 different paramedics were there. They both wrote similar reports. They both called into headquarters, and there's audio recordings of them saying exactly this. Listen to this. No more. No way. The driver, listen to this. This is the report the driver wrote later, the paramedic. I was still in such shock that they were not only accusing me of such a thing, trying to run them over, but crowding and cornering me in the seat, pointing and screaming at me, threatening to shoot and arrest me, and not allowing the ambulance to leave the scene. This was no longer a safe scene. And in that moment, I realized that the scene had not actually been safe the entire time that they were blocking us from exiting, and that we were essentially trapped. The ambulance driver basically felt these guys were going to hurt them, that he was in physical danger driving an ambulance to an ICE facility, not from the Portland citizens, but from the ICE people, the not even federal agents, whoever these guys are, these jokers who were hired by Donald Trump, who clearly have had no training, who don't understand civil rights, who don't understand police work. I mean, absolutely. And again, I don't know that, they're going to, who knows if people are filing lawsuits against these guys, They threatened of course they threatened the driver. They said they were going to shoot him. They definitely threatened the driver. Yeah, they definitely threatened the driver. Yeah, unbelievable stuff. What else we got? That story was not from Willamette Week. I've got a different story from Willamette Week. No. That one was from Willamette Week. This other one is from Southern California, and I'm forgetting what publication. I don't think this one should be Southern California. Listen to this. Another ICE story. A U.S. Marine has revealed that his parents were detained by ICE agents during a recent visit to Camp Pendleton in Southern California. So he's a U.S. Marine. He's an American. He's an active duty Marine in Camp Pendleton, California. His parents come for a visit with him because they're going with the sister to get the husband. The husband is a Marine at the base as well, the husband of the sister. And they're going to pick up the husband and do something on a Saturday or whatever it is. The parents get nabbed by ICE on the U.S. military base, the Marine base, right? The Marine base. They nab the parents. The parents get ankle bracelets put on. They're released. They're told to come back. They come back a couple days later. The father gets deported. The mother is still in custody. I don't know as of right now. As of earlier today, there was no further report on the mother. The mother's in custody. This was NBC San Diego, I think, that reported on this. His parents, interesting, and this gets even more interesting. He's not just a U.S. Marine. His parents are legal. His parents came here illegally 30 years ago. They then liked it here. They lived here and end up encouraging him to join the military to give back to America. Kind of a cool story. The parents are in the process. They've already applied for their green card. They were already accepted into the system. They were already given approval to work. So they are now in the American immigration system. They are now legal. The parents are legal. Their papers are being checked, and because their kid is American, they could very well get this. They were arrested and deported, the father at least, illegally. You can't arrest people who are legally in the immigration system and who are now here legally. You literally can't arrest them and deport them for that. You can't. They're not illegal. I mean, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They grabbed them because they were Latino and kicked them out of the country. Mind you, United States Marine that they did this to. The good thing is the Marine is obviously speaking up. His I'm sure Hegseth won't like it, but man, I mean, no, it is sickening. It is sickening. Actually, what did the father do? The father, when he went back, because they were ordered to come back with the ankle bracelets, the father wore a hat, a red shirt, and a white hat, both of which said "Proud Dad of a U.S. Marine," and they deported him. Yeah. At the Pentagon, speaking of which, every news organization except OAN has told the Pentagon to go take a hike. This is actually fascinating. the Pentagon was trying to require some, Marxist communist loyalty oath from all the media reporting at the Pentagon, and they refused. Everybody refused except OAN. OAN isn't media. OAN is this weird, small Republican activist network. Fox News are Republican activists. I don't even know what to call OAN. They signed it. Newsmax did not. Newsmax is terrible. Fox News is bad because Fox News is a Republican. They work for the Republican Party. Newsmax, far worse. Newsmax wouldn't sign it. Fox News wouldn't sign it because they thought it was too radical. And they thought, Newsmax and Fox, who are not media, thought it was that Trump and Hegseth were impinging too much on their freedom of speech. These guys are basically, it would be like Pravda in the Soviet Union saying that the Kremlin was impinging on their freedom of speech. They are, but for them to call it out is shocking. Absolutely shocking. So that was a good thing, at least. They refused to sign. That was very cool. Trump today threatened Argentina. Trump ordered the people of Argentina in their election in 2 weeks to pick Milei, the current president or whatever, or he's not going to help Argentina anymore with any of their economic problems. He literally, again, fascism. We do not live in a democracy anymore. He ordered Argentina who they should pick in the election, or else he was going to punish the country if they don't pick his buddy Milei as the president. Argentines should literally go to the polls and say, screw you to the Yankees. That's what they call us down there in Argentina, Yankees. He doesn't care anymore. The reason we're paying more for coffee now, in large part, is because Donald Trump is punishing Brazil for jailing his friend Bolsonaro, who tried to violently overthrow the government. Sound familiar? Well, Trump obviously has an affinity for somebody who tried to violently overthrow the government of Brazil, and they found him guilty. And Trump said, if you find him guilty, I'm getting you. So he put 50% tariffs on Brazil because they found Bolsonaro guilty. Right? Thank you. Was it Diego? Thank you. Or Diogo. Literally, the tariffs, 30% of a third of American coffee comes from Brazil. A third of the coffee we drink in this country comes from Brazil. Trump put a 50% tax on it that you and I are going to end up paying because his buddy got convicted in Brazil and he wanted the courts to do his bidding. And now he's ordering the Argentine people to elect Milei, or we're no longer going to help Argentina. This is, by the way, exactly what he got impeached over with Ukraine. Remember? Trump wanted Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden and said, we're not going to give you the weapons to defend yourself against the Russians unless you dig up dirt on Biden. And he got impeached for it. This is literally the same thing he's doing. He's telling countries U.S. foreign aid is going to be contingent on whether you reelect my friend. Mind you, the argument isn't that the other person running is like some communist or something. He doesn't care who the other person is. Milei's his buddy, which in Donald Trump terms, we know what that usually means too. Really, again, unbelievable. So believable. We've got a deadly measles outbreak in America. What a surprise. Scott Tan says, by the way, very generous, Scott, thank you. U.S. passport dropped to 12th place in the Henley Passport Index as of October 14th, 2025, marking the first time in nearly 2 decades it has fallen out of the top 10. What exactly is the index? The Henley Passport Index, meaning, is it the most popular passports? Is it the passport considered, is it the one people vote they want? Is it the one that experts say will get you the most welcome? What exactly is it? Obviously, you don't have to pay for that, Scott, but thank you for that. Tell me a little bit more as to what that is. Or if somebody wants to Google it while Scott is trying to write me an answer here. I'm going to guess it's popularity, although it could be experts saying which passport you want. How many countries can you go to with visa free or visa on arrival? Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Spider, for that. Ease of travel to other countries. Oh, okay. So it's not really dealing with the fascist thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Southeast, as well. There are no King's protests. Somebody was just saying Montreal in Philip Square or something, or Square Philip or something. There's a rally on Saturday. So Canada is going to have some. God bless Canada. Thank you for helping us. What else we got here? Let's get some of the Ukraine-Russia news. The United Nations said one of its humanitarian convoys was hit by Russian drones today while delivering aid to a frontline area in southern Ukraine. The UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs condemned the attack, saying that 2 World Food Program trucks were hit and damaged by drones. He said these strikes were a severe breach of international law and possibly a war crime, suggesting that the Russians knew exactly what they were doing. That the Russians knew they were hitting UN relief vehicles and they did it on purpose. Surprise. The U.S. is expecting big NATO spending pledges for Ukrainian weapons purchases tomorrow in Brussels. There's a big NATO meeting tomorrow, October 15th in Brussels. And they're basically under the new regime with Donald Trump. We are no longer giving aid to Ukraine. We're making the Europeans buy the weapons and give them to the Ukrainians. So making them give the aid. Supposedly, a U.S. NATO ambassador said there's going to be a big announcement tomorrow. So it's possible they're going to announce that the U.S. is giving Tomahawk missiles, that the Europeans are going to buy them, Tomahawk cruise missiles, and send them. We don't know. We don't know. Trump is certainly continually fed up with Putin, which is good, which is very good. Oops, hang on a sec. Zoom. Okay, don't know. What else we got? Trump had some comments today about Putin. He said, I had a very good relationship with Putin, but he just doesn't want to end that war, and I think it's making them look very bad. He could end it. He could end it quickly. He also praised Ukraine's long efforts to fight back against Russia. And I have to tell you, I give credit, because who would think that Ukraine could have fought Russia for 4 years to essentially a standstill? Not entirely clear why Trump is suddenly like friends of Ukraine. I mean, I'm glad he is. He's a taco. He'll change his mind. But right now, it's good that he's friends of Ukraine. It's good that he's admiring Ukraine. It is also interesting that Trump is, and I've got my wig too, I should have put on. It's also interesting that Trump is saying that, thank you for the gifts, Carrie, that Trump is saying that Putin doesn't want to end the war. That's actually very good. Because he's no longer saying, Ukraine and Putin can't get together or whatever. He's saying it's Putin. He's saying it's Putin's fault. Putin's the one who doesn't want peace. That's really good. I mean, that's good if you're Ukraine. It's good if you're an American who supports freedom and liberty, because it means Trump, as much of a goof as he is, has at least currently believes that Putin's the bad guy, which means he'll help Ukraine and he'll hurt Putin. So anyway, that is good stuff. Russia's largest oil terminal in occupied Crimea is still on fire 2 days after Ukrainian drone strike. The Russians have been hitting a lot of Ukrainian energy. The Ukrainians, fortunately, have been hitting them back, which is good. And finally, Russia is thinking of putting price caps on its gasoline at gas stations, as experts are warning of mass out-of-stock signs. This from the Kyiv Independent. The proposal, initiated by the Russian National Automobile Union, comes amid a deepening supply crisis exacerbated by Ukraine's drone strikes. So that's good. Russia's at least having problems with gasoline and all of that. So, it may not end the war, but it's good that the Russians are having problems. So the U.S. are the good guys. Generally speaking, we are. We're not, on most issues, we're not the good guys anymore as of January 20th, but in Ukraine, we certainly are. Thank you, Chazak, for the monkey. Oops, there we go. Adjusting my camera so I can sit back. There we go. Ooh, la, 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 la. There we go. Oh, thank you for the crab, Terry. Oop. Oh, well. No sunset today. There was a sunset. I was going to open the window, but there was no big sunset. So what else we got? Did Trump say at a meeting something on hot mic? Did not see that. No. Russia's already pursuing a Cold War of the West. What do you mean, Luis? A man released from prison falsely convicted, then arrested by ICE. No, I did not see. What is that about? Oh, the ambulance. Yeah, the ambulance driver stuff is crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Russia's new weapon. I don't care about any new Russian weapons. Usually it's a lie anyway. No, I consider the U.S. the good guys. Depends which war. We saved Kuwait's ass. I mean, World War II was kind of a while ago, but we did do the right thing there finally and helped. But no, we've done a lot of good in the world. We were the number one aid donor in the world up until a couple months ago. So we've done a lot of good. We just don't do a lot of good when people like Donald Trump are president. Then we do a lot of evil. So, well, he helped end the war or got the ceasefire at least. That's not a bad thing. Thank you guys. Thank you for the feather tiara, Addie, and Bowie for the balloons. Anyway, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Oh, what else? What else? Anyway, this is the part we hang out, we chat. See, this is the part where if I had the nerve, I could bring you guys on to chat. Although I'd have to unplug my mic if we do that. We'd have to go to regular mic. Say Big Hawk thing for the floating octopus. The floating octopus is a big hawk regular thing. Marjorie, what's she doing now? Marjorie Taylor Greene was this right-wing nut job who was being very good about Obamacare. But I didn't see anything recently become a Democrat. That would be bizarre. That would be just bizarre. That would be totally bizarre. Who's CK? Linda, who is CK? Why are the Epstein files private? Because Donald Trump is terrified of releasing them. So there. Oh, thank you for the bubbles. Appreciate that. CK. Gotcha. Thank you for the Caterpillar Chaos. Why do I get yelled at for being a progressive? I don't know. Who yells at you? Anyway. Actually, YouTube, are you still there? I'm not seeing any comments on YouTube. Did YouTube disappear? That's a little weird. Oh, Gunther's. Did everybody just stop talking? It's a little weird when you all stop talking for 2 minutes. All right. It was just a little weird. I mean, like literally there's 185 people and nobody's writing anything down. And I'm going, all right. It's fine. You're allowed to. It's just a little weird. Oh man. Oh, excuse me. Yes, that was the Greeley woman. Oh no, what was this from? Was that the Greeley woman or is that somebody else, Jen? Carrie, there's literally no proof that the Democrats are doing anything about illegal immigrants with the government shutdown. No, none. All the fact checkers looked into it and said the Republicans are lying. Literally, the entire thing is about Obamacare and Medicaid. Medicaid doesn't go to illegal people here illegally, and Obamacare doesn't either. So they lied. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Julie because I'm not sure what to even say of this. One of the two big voting machine companies in America just got bought by like a Republican activist. It's really creepy. I mean, really creepy. So very, very bad news. I know yawning. Sorry, guys. Once again, dog got me up early. Oh man. Oh, of course he did. Of course he did. I knew he was going to do that. I'm not even going to talk about it. I knew Trump was good. I was wondering what the hell he was doing today. Of course. Yes. Whatever. Anyway. Somebody, by the way, was trying to explain to me the whole on TikTok. There's this like levels you can have based on the gifts you give. The problem is it's so complicated. So they were trying to explain it to me as like, oh, I could set up levels. I could set up levels where when you reach certain levels, you get certain gifts. Like maybe we, again, do a live, or I don't know what the hell it is. And I was like, okay, how do I know what level people are on TikTok? Like my subscribers or just viewers. And I was like, oh, well, there's a list in your settings you can click through. And I look at the list and it mentions the names of people who gave gifts recently, but it doesn't say the level. I'm supposed to click on each person and look at your level and then come back and go to the next person and click on their level and come back. And I was like, how the hell am I supposed to create like a special, let's pretend I was going to create some special chat with John or something. If you were a level 20 or above, how do I even find you're a level 20? I've got to click through each person to find you and make a list. I don't even know. It's insane. It's insane, Sasha. Okay, she'll give her a touch more. It's almost 7. We'll give her a little more water. So unfortunately, I can't do that because there's no way to do it. But again, TikTok, you know. Here. No, you're getting that. I mean, it would be neat to do, but do you know what I mean? But there's like hundreds of people who have given, probably thousands of people who have given gifts. I'm supposed to go through a list and click each person and see what level you are. How do I let's pretend all the level 20s get something. I have to write a list of level 20s and then write each of you individual messages on TikTok each time. So imagine like each week we do this, I've got to go through the entire list of 1,000 of you again and manually find you. You get it. And manually write you all messages individually. I can't mess. I was like, is there no way to just click a button and say, everybody level 20 and above, here they are. Oh, send them all a message. Yay. But again, because I'm not doing the consulting here. If I was doing the consulting, TikTok would work like this because I know how to work communities. I know how to build communities. But sadly, it drives me a little crazy because I literally just noticed it the other day and I was like, oh, people are different levels. I can't do anything with the levels and I wish I could. Anyway, it's very frustrating to me because like some of you guys are higher levels because you've given more gifts and over time and nice gifts and everything. And it'd be a nice way to thank you, but anyway, you get it. I just got very upset because I was like, how am I supposed to do this? Well, they don't make it easy. Oh, the superfan thing. So TikTok will eventually shift you all over to superfans by December 15th. Even right now, it's not supposed to be letting new subscribers shouldn't be allowed, but they are. The new subscribers are buying at the old rate, but by December 15th, they will shift you to the new rate or have you go. Or you can unsubscribe, but that's what they're doing. Apparently it's very confusing. Thank you, Flower Lady. Yeah, it's very confusing. What constitutes a superfan? A superfan is a subscriber. I think they just changed the name. Well, it's worse than that. They changed the name. There are still subscribers now. There's subscribers who can. Some people have TikTok presences where they have bulletin boards and stuff. For people that use their subscribers to do bulletin boards, your subscribers will stay and you'll make a lot of money off of them, by the way, which really pisses me off. If you're like me and you use the subscribers to do special lives just for the subscribers, you're going to be changed to super fans and they're going to charge you $9.99 and I don't get a choice. And they still take a lot of the money. It's like, okay. Okay. So it's again, I'm not the one doing the consulting, unfortunately, for TikTok. So it's confusing. Again, I love my presence on TikTok. Love you guys. This stuff is very confusing and very complicated. And now I've got to go see if my dog is eating my plants again. Don't do it. She destroyed my sedum. I had a wonderful sedum plant, this beautiful flowing thing. She's just destroyed it. I don't know. It must taste good to dogs, clearly. Anyway. Oh, so Nuria asked a question. Why, if someone is born in the US, they can become a citizen? I know most countries do not allow that. Um, it's quite simple. In the US, it's in our Constitution. The US Constitution says if you are born here, you become a citizen automatically. That's it. I mean, that's literally it. It's in the Constitution. A number of countries do allow it. Many countries do not. Trump claimed we were the only country. That's not true. Um, you know, but cavoodle. But I'd have to look again at what ChatGPT says. Hi, come on in, crazy. Yeah, no more sedum for you to eat. Uh-huh. There you go. Um, let me ask my ChatGPT and see what it says. Let's see here. How many countries in the world have birthright citizenship like the US?
Birthright citizenship, also known as just solely, is actually not that common worldwide. While the United States is one of the most well-known examples, only about 30 to 35 countries currently have unrestricted just solely policies.
Okay. Keep going.
Sure. So essentially, the majority of countries that have birthright citizenship are in the Americas. Places like Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and a number of countries in Central and South America. It's a policy that's less common in Europe, Africa, or Asia, where citizenship is more often based on parentage rather than place of birth. So it's a pretty select group globally.
Okay, very interesting. See, this was the issue with me trying to get my Greek citizenship. It's very complicated because Greece doesn't have birthright citizenship. So I have to prove I feel like I'm, in Starship Troopers. I have to prove my mother was a citizen, and then I have to prove my grandfather was a citizen. And a citizen doesn't just mean he was born there. It's this whole crazy, and it's not just his parentage. He had to be registered with the city. And if his parents didn't register him with the city in a certain registry, he wasn't a citizen. It's crazy. So I found my grandfather's registry, but my mom, we can't find the registry. I still think she's registered, but they can't find it. If they find it, then it's easy for me. If they don't find it, it's harder, which is what we're doing. But that's because they don't have birthright citizenship. Mom was born there. I've got her birth certificate. Doesn't make her Greek. Born to Greek citizens doesn't make her Greek. It's crazy. I mean, she's Greek, but she's not Greek legally, which is insane to me. But that's what happens when you don't have birthright citizenship. Right? So there we go. Oh, I've been digging up the archives. Trust me. Yep. Birth certificate, still not considered Greek, a Greek citizen. Yep. I do not. No, that depends on the immigration status you're going for. Missed her. Anyway, is there any ability to sue the billionaires as a class action lawsuit? No, because, well, it depends which billionaires. You would have to, the billionaires would have to literally hurt you directly, meaning you could sue Jeff Bezos if Amazon was used to cheat millions of Americans in some way. Then you would file a class action suit on behalf of every Amazon user, because I'm making this up, to get money back for Amazon cheating everybody somehow. We're like each transaction or whatever. But you couldn't just say billionaires suck, let's sue them. You still need a legal argument of the billionaire did something specific, Yeah, I don't think the Mormons have got Greek stuff is the problem. I hear you, but not with the Greek stuff. What the hell does that mean? Invite to start a level up blast. I'm going to hit it anyway. I don't know what the hell that means. What the hell does that mean? Oh God, I hope I didn't just do something stupid. TikTok just asked me, would you hit the invite button to do a level up blast for your viewers? I was like, okay. I have no idea what it did. Is anything on your screen? Oh, maybe it's that thing. Could it be that thing in the top right? No. Go live. I'm already live. I don't know what the hell. That was so weird. They're so weird. Okay, whatever. TikTok's so bizarre. Literally, it was this little button. Click the button and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my God. Anyway, it's all right. That's all right. Yes, jus sanguinis, or however, I don't speak Latin. I speak Italian. What else? Oh no, I hope it didn't just invite somebody to come on the show with me. Maybe it did. Sì, parlo italiano. Sì. Greek versus American city? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the countries are just so different, you know. I'd have a okay. I was a little afraid it was going to somehow drag somebody in. My Spanish, por supuesto. Hablo bien español. Que no bad ain't bad. ¿Qué quieres decir que no es bad? Hablo bien español. Hace mucho tiempo mucho tiempo acaba de hablar un poco de italiano porque comenzamos en italiano. We started in Italian, so now I'm thinking in Italian when I'm trying to speak Spanish. Oh, that's all right. No, my Spanish is actually my Italian's very good. My Spanish is very good. I speak maybe 5 languages. But my Greek is rusty. I'm taking Greek classes again now. My Spanish is I'm not trying to be cocky, but my Spanish is very good. I've studied it for like 13 years. My Italian is very good. My Spanish is way better. And my French is way better. Similar is, Italian. I mean, look, I already spoke Spanish and French, so Italian was easy because I spoke Spanish. I'm good at languages, but also I spoke Spanish and French. Nuria, I did study some Portuguese. It's been too long now. I can't do Portuguese now. I took like a semester or 2 in college, in graduate school of Portuguese, and I was able to at least do a little. I can't remember. I'd have to study it again. It's just I don't remember it anymore. Sing songs in other languages. Yes, but I'm trying to the one in Italian I can't sing. That would be offensive about your underwear billowing up. It may be well known in Italy. Cose, Katie. My Italian friends taught me when I was like 19. But I'm trying to think. I remember a little bit of Russian songs because I was in the Russian choir in college, and I only remember Ticho Večer Dagarayet. I can't remember the rest of the song though. But I remember I remember the first line was Ticho Večer Dagarayet. But I can't remember a lot of the other ones though. Bad Bunny's halftime show, sure. Although he's Puerto Rican, so it takes me a while to understand the Puerto Ricans. I was in Puerto Rico, and it took me probably 2 or 3 days to understand them, and then it was great. But it took a good 2 or 3 days before. Otherwise, I was like, "Oh my god!" Well, the accents are different. They eat the words a lot. So, like the Puerto Ricans, I always joke because I was visiting a Puerto Rican friend in New York once, and the uncle had a dog, and the uncle comes up to me, and the uncle says to me in Spanish. I speak Spanish. The uncle says to me in Spanish, "Oh, you like the dog?" But he says to me, "Te gusta el pelo?" He goes, "Ah, te gusta el pelo?" And I looked at him and went, "Cómo?" He goes, "Te gusta el pelo?" And somebody next to him goes, "Te gusta el perro?" I said, "Ah, sí, me encantan los perros." But it was the funniest damn thing. Te gusta el pelo. They eat the letters so much. Puerto Ricans, I mean, a lot of Central Americans do too. My Panamanian cousins do too. That it can be very difficult to understand. So anyway, but after 3 days, I understood fine. But I would spend a week in Puerto Rico, but it took a good 2 or 3 days. And then I was talking with the cab drivers. Then it was fun. Because then the cab drivers were funny. We'd be talking and stuff, and they'd play music for me. And because I like salsa and all that stuff. And I remember the cab driver, one of the cab drivers just kept playing me. He was like, "Oh, I got to show you another song." We arrived at my hotel, and we must have spent 15 or 20 minutes in the car because he kept showing me more music. And I was like, okay. And he kept getting out. There were cassettes at this point. All these, you don't know Ray Ruiz. Ray Ruiz at the time was big. And he got me Ray Ruiz and a couple of the other guys. It was very cool. Salsa. Yeah. I don't dance too well in Arabic. I can only swear in Arabic, which I'm not going to do because it'll be very rude. I mean, I can do a couple things, marhaba, but I can also say something horrible about your mother if I had to. Yeah, Arabic, I don't think I know any sentences in Arabic other than a few vulgar ones. Um, but yeah, I like Arabic. I think it's very interesting. Hungarian, no. No Hungarian. No, no, no. Never had the experience. What is the salsa capital of the world? Creole. I have been watching more Quebecois. I came across some Quebecois videos on maybe Instagram or something. It was fun. They were fun to check out. You know, I can count to Japanese. Now, Japan was fun. Now, mind you, this was a long time ago. I probably had a better brain at that point. But Japan was interesting because I actually got okay at Japanese. I had gotten like a phrase book before I went and just started memorizing phrases. And it was actually like, I mean, at the restaurant was not great. The restaurant, it was all I could do not to order uni or whatever, the puffer fish or whatever the hell. But but like with the cab drivers and stuff, I was able to, because nobody spoke English. So like the cab drivers, I had to say, I'm going to this hotel, blah, blah, blah. And I remember the one cab driver actually goes, oh, are you American? Because I remember I'd learned that. I was like, however, I didn't even remember in Japanese anymore. Is it hi? I'm trying to remember how do you say yes in Japanese. And he was like, but it was very interesting. Like we had a little mini conversation. Not easy Japanese. Easy to pronounce. Yes. Thank you for the gift, Kat. I would say very easy to pronounce. You're going to Japan on Monday? Oh, cool. Well, they didn't speak English when I was there, Gunther, so get ready. But the language is so different. But again, if you can speak, to me, my sense was if you could speak some Caribbean, Latin American, Mediterranean languages, you can speak Japanese. Like domo arigato. It was like arigato. Things, for my taste, things where all the letters were pronounced. They do like the r. It was, the vowels are the same. It just reminded me of speaking almost a Latin language in a way with the pronunciation. But again, totally different language, obviously, and very, very different people. Super different people. But exactly, we all had a better brain pre-2016. Exactly. Well, that's fun, Gunther, going to Japan. Tokyo, or you have family in Tokyo right now? Everybody speaks English now. That's good. It was very difficult when I was there. Do I believe we'll ever get back to normal? No. Just wait. You got new water about 10, 15 minutes ago. We're not going back to normal anytime soon. The problem is, to get back to normal, I almost feel like, I don't know. I almost feel like Trump has to hit rock bottom, which means doing some really bad things, and the country has to revolt. We'll see. Your son was there for 6 months, took lessons. It's still hard. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, and the Japanese can be difficult. I mean, my friend, when I was there in the 1990s, I remember my friend Sorka. Remember Sorka Brady? Anybody in Belfast, in Dublin, still trying to find Sorka, who lived in the U.S. and worked at Citizens Bank in the 1990s or late 80s, early 90s. But Sorka was an old roommate, great woman, love her, very smart and strong. Sorka was a very, Irish women, like, right? And Sorka was telling me, basically, in the 1990s at least, the Japanese men were very sexist. And she was telling me about it. And I was like, she goes, oh God, it's horrible. Because she was like living there for a year or two teaching. And we get in the elevator to go downstairs. And there's like, I don't know, 8 businessmen in the elevator or something, Japanese businessmen. I'm with Sorka, a woman. We go downstairs to go down to the elevator in the hotel. The door opens and the Japanese men stand aside and signal for me to walk out. And I was like, thank you. I mean, it was like, because I was the foreigner, right? Or I was the white foreigner, whichever. I was like, thank you. I go to walk out. And as soon as Sorka tries to walk out, the men crowd in front of her and leave first. So they made space for me, the guy, to walk out. But when the chick wanted to walk out, they cut her off and went because she goes last. And she looked at me, and after she looked at me and goes, see what I'm talking about? I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was wild. Dawn, this was a collection of, well, that's true, but this was a collection of businessmen. And she'd been living there for like a year or two. Now, granted, men have their own ways of stepping on women in meetings and things too. I know that. But in any case, it was not good. I'm going to take her at her word. She'd lived in the U.S. for years. This was worse than the U.S. in the 1990s because she was living in the U.S. first and then went to Japan. Again, Japan was fascinating. I'm still kind of agnostic on Japan. It was fascinating. I did not love Japan. I don't know, Gunther, have you been before? Gunther's going to Japan on Monday. But I did not love. I did not love Japan. I was there for work too, so it was a little less of a fun trip. But I'd go back. Travel around. So, I got a little bit of the creeps from Japan. It was a little too. Everything was. I went to Okinawa, but honestly, Okinawa was no big. Okinawa, the town, not great. We were like by the main town. It was not great. But it was just very. It was a little too organized of a society for my tastes. I got nasty war vibes. Basically, I got the same feeling I got when I went to a soccer game in Argentina. It creeped me out so much because it was just way too much. 50,000 people in unison screaming in Argentina scared me. It felt like a similar situation in Japan, except they weren't screaming, but they were still in unison, and it creeped me out a little. Sheila, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, what Angelina said, the rigidity, there was just too much of and in unison too. Like, for example, it was a small thing, but you add it all together. Going to the meetings in the morning. Our meetings were at maybe, oh God, we get into Tokyo. I'll tell the Tokyo story and then we'll go because it's 7:15. We get into Tokyo at like 2 a.m. We got to our hotel at like 2. We check in. It's not until 2:30 or 3 and thank God the restaurant was still open. We go to the restaurant. They've got like a buffet of Chinese food. Very good. Like really good Chinese food in Tokyo. So we get the Chinese food. We finish. It's now like 3:30. We didn't get to bed till like 4 a.m. And mind you, we've been flying from the United States to Japan. It's like a 14-hour flight. We're exhausted. So we get to Tokyo. We're in our hotels, finally getting to bed at 4 a.m. And they know this, okay? And this is the government. This was a government-sponsored trip for American government officials. I was working in the Senate, other people from Library of Congress, everywhere else. They know we got in at 2 and 3 in the morning, right? They know we're getting to bed at 4 a.m. They scheduled a meeting they scheduled a pickup at 8 a.m. I was like, 8 a.m.? We have to meet the bus at 8 a.m.? We're going to bed at 4 a.m. We just got here. At least give us a day or something, or half a day. But this is Japan. So we get up at 8 a.m. No, get up. We had to get up at 7 a.m. because you got to shower, eat, put your suit on, meet them at 8 a.m. at the bus. We drive. We get there at like 10 after 8, and we sit on our asses for 50 minutes. So we sit on our asses from 8:10 to like 9 o'clock because the meeting's at 9 o'clock. And I went, why did we get here so early? Well, sometimes there's traffic and it's very important in Japan to be there on time. I said, okay, how long does it take if there's traffic? Ooh, if there's traffic, it can take 20 minutes. And I went, wait a minute. We left at 8 o'clock in the morning to get there at 8:10 for a 9 o'clock meeting, because if there's traffic, we wouldn't have gotten there until 8:20 in the morning, which would have been 40 minutes early for the meeting. And they did this to us every day. I was like, oh my God. And their cultural differences, you got to accept it. But I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And mind you, we'd slept 3 hours. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway. It was, again, I still liked Japan. It was I don't hate Japan. It was very interesting, but I did not love, there were aspects of Japan I did not love. To them being late is totally not acceptable. In Japan, you get there early, which I get. But I was like, my God, you get there like 45 minutes early. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, you know? Anyway. But very impressive, technologically very impressive. The airport was super impressive. You know, Germany, yeah. Which, I mean, granted, you know, getting late is not good either. 10 hours between, yeah, that's nothing compared to this. This was horrible. It's just the amount of time was absolutely horrible. Well, that's the thing, Janice. I think you're right. If you get there 10 minutes early, you're late. Like, it's probably a show of I'm going to guess it's a show of respect getting there that early, right? Probably. Anyway, yeah. As a Greek American, you know, getting somewhere 50 minutes early is like, no. And not when you have to get up early for it too. It's like, no, I don't think so. Certainly showing up on time is respectful. Exactly. Anyway, all right, guys, it's already 7:18. I'm going to get going. All right. Wi-Fi, no, not in the early 90s. We didn't. I went to Japan probably 1992, 1993, maybe. Ukrainian Canadian. Well, we're Greek too. We don't arrive anywhere early. I try, but it's hard to do that. I mean, doctor's appointment, I try to get there on time, of course. I told you the last little story. I was speaking at a conference in Greece for PASOK, which is one of the big political parties. He had me come to a conference years ago, and I was speaking on a panel about blogging and the internet, politics. And my panel, I said, okay, what time do you want me there in the morning for the panel? And they said, literally, my Greek friend goes, okay, well, your panel is at 10:30 in the morning at the conference, the political conference. So because your panel is at 10:30, you should show up at 11:15, 11:30 at the latest. I went, wait, what? Because everything's late. The panel was booked for 10:30. So you don't show, you basically, we were probably going to start at 11:30, but better to show up at 11:15 for your 10:30 panel. So I showed up at 11:15. I was like, okay. And you know, they were right. That's what we did. It's Greece. It was like, okay, what do you do? But I love that. The panel's at 10:30, so show up at 11:15. And no later, but my favorite is show up at 11:15 and no later than 11:30. So even 11:15 had to have built-in Greek time. Like, okay, you're probably going to be late for 11:15, so make it 11:30. Anyway, it's very funny. Yes. Oh my! I mean, that's a little too casual even for me. I do not. I do like some punctuality. If it's 10:30, let's start at 10:30 if we can. You know. Good night, Claire. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. All right, YouTube, Discord. I'm going to say good night to you first, as always, and then deal with my whiny dog. All right, have a good night, Discord. YouTube, you're next. Whiny McWeinstein is freaking. I hear you. I do. Okay, good night, all. I know I'm coming. Just relax. All right, TikTok.